Zohran Mamdani, who came in on a populist message of affordability. How do you get affordability? There's only one way, people. If you do not run or own the corporation, the only way you get affordability is if you make them people fix things to be affordable. You're not going to make them put more money in people's pockets. We've already learned trickle-down economics doesn't work. So the only other angle you can come from is to force corporations to do more. And that's what he's doing. So he won a lawsuit against slumlords in New York, $31 million. And there was only two of them. Take a look at this story, ladies and gentlemen. My boy, Zohran Mamdani.
City Mayor Zohran Mamdani today announcing the largest settlement in city history with what he calls bad landlords in the Bronx. Those landlords will now pay $31 million after the mayor says tenants were forced to live in horrible conditions for years. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis live in the Morrisania section with more on this story. Marcus.
Well, Dave, those residents hoping for some long-awaited repairs and improvements that they've been demanding for years. When these buildings were built, Mitchell-Lama housing back in the 60s, they promised luxury living at affordable prices. The buildings have changed ownership several times. The mayor says the conditions have devolved into inhumane conditions. 2 years ago, HPD took the landlord to court, and today the city says they've won big.
It's the best news we could have ever hoped for.
Cautious optimism after what residents describe as years of horrible living conditions at Robert Fulton Terrace, twin 18-story high-rises with over 300 units. Today, the city announcing it has secured $31 million in penalties against two Bronx landlords, $900,000 of which will go to making immediate repairs.
These funds come directly from the landlords' accounts, money that should have otherwise been allocated towards this work long ago. And we will not only make the urgent repairs that are needed today, but also the long-term improvements that tenants deserve.
The settlement establishes a chief restructuring officer who will hire a property manager. For years, residents say they've lived with frequent elevator outages, lack of hot water, and general disrepair on balconies and inside apartments that has resulted in rat infestation.
Should not be boiling water to bathe. Not in 2026. That is completely unacceptable, right? So I'm hopeful.
Well, the settlement also includes the Fordham Tower, which is a sister building to these on 188th Street. The landlords are Karan Singh and Rajmati Prasad. Both are on the public advocate's worst landlords list. We're live in Morrisania. Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Marcus, thank you.
Damn. Do you know how bad of a landlord you got to be to supersede the Trump family and their poor-ass slumlord abilities that they learned from their daddy? They used to be some of the worst slumlords in New York. Now, I'm happy Mamdani put his head down and said he's not going to be dealing with these limbo-bodied, weak Democrats who kowtower to AIPAC, who kowtower to the corporations, who say fuck it, and lie to us about not being part of the swamp when they are. And he's ramrodding whatever he can to help the people. Now, I hope that all that money goes toward helping the people, not just the 900,000 mentioned, but all of it, maybe some kind of rent affordability quota, maybe using some of that money to build more affordable housing, something like that. But this is a model Democrats can take throughout the whole entire United States. And they can also take the mantra I'm speaking, debunk these societal myths that have been put in place to keep people from voting together to get things done as a unit. Because that's what the slumlords and all of them would vote Republican for, because they all get mad that regulations cause them not to be able to make money. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. I have done business in trucking, early child care, medicine, respiratory care, authorizations with Medicaid, YouTube, stocks, real estate. I'm a landlord too. And yes, some of these regulations are cumbersome and they do need to be streamlined. I 100% agree we should streamline some regulations. But a lot of the regulations get streamlined in places taken over by Republicans as a means to circumvent giving people what they need. Mamdani's not having it. Thank goodness he's not having it. And he needs to go around and do speeches and tours helping other Democrats have some backbone, because we're never going to get out of this swamp if Democrats want to get back in office, play nice, and think that enough American people have grown from a second Trump term that they'll start voting their own interests. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to get in there, wield that power the way Mamdani is doing it, and then do something about that Supreme Court, do something about education so that we don't allow the American people to keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Good job, Zohran. Post your comments. Let me know how you're feeling about my man, Zohran Mamdani.